Hello, I'm Bill. Welcome to episode 5 for Codoo Devlog. I have a lot of things to cover today because I didn't make a video last week. So this week I'm going to go over how I made the settings page, sound and sound effects, unlockables, and also app publishing. So a lot to cover, and let's get to it. A quick recap from last week. We ended up with finishing the profile page, and also the history page was completed. On the settings page, I have these music controls. Play mode, I think I've already gone over that. So right under the music are the category selection. All of these are toggles. You can check and uncheck these, and also new category. New categories, unlockables, and if you type something in there, it will ask you if you want to confirm or not. I actually want to cancel. It's a one-time setting, so once it's set, you cannot go back to change it. The interactable has set to false after the confirmation. I want to do that because just to prevent too many categories to get created and destroyed or left as orphans. Let me go over sound. So sound is in here. I have an object, audio, one for background music, and another one for sound effects. And that's what these on-off buttons do. So if I click off, the sound effect mute property will turn on. If I turn on, mute property turns off. Same thing for music, and the way music works is I have a list. Oh, that sound effect. Here's the list of music that I have assigned from my asset folder. I drag and drop these to the list, and as you change the play mode, see, it went from random, it went to random, and play mode went to 1. If I go repeat, play mode goes to 2, and if you look at the code, that's background music, play mode 0, 1, 2, and based on the play mode, it will call different functions, and those functions will either just play the next clip or play a random clip, or whatever the current track is, play it again. So that's how the play mode works. That's on this change. Assign that number to the play mode, and when the music stops, calls the switch statement and find out which song to play next. Pretty simple. And for sound effects, it's even simpler. Just created a bunch of audio clips for various sounds that are needed in the game, and create a public function for each of those sound as play one shot. So on any of the events, like clicking on anything, I'll show you here as an example. On the main menu, these bottom buttons here, hear that click? So in the on button click, I simply drag the sound effect in here and assign the public functions into that event. So whenever I click, I get that sound. Very simple. And it's also separated from the music. Sometimes people just want to listen to music and not hear all the beeping sound from the message box. So made that 2 separate buttons. Music on, off. I'll keep it off for the log, but it's very good music. I like it. The music I picked for this game is lo-fi type music that I got from Appstore. It's pretty relaxing and not very disturbing or not exciting. It doesn't distract the player from their thoughts because as you play the game, you're thinking, strategizing, come up with prompts, and the last thing you need is like distracting music. So that's why I pick lo-fi. It's something you can just leave on in the background and kill the silence basically, but not be distracting. So that's lo-fi. The sound effects are pretty futuristic and data or electronic like. So I'll give some examples. So it's not cute. It's a little bit modern. And there's also, let me see if there's a settings. So like here, there's one sound for success, one sound for cancel, and there's not that many sound effects. If I had a sound engineer, this list could be a lot longer, but for now, this is good enough. So that's sound. Next item is unlockables. So when I click here, unlockables, it's going through the unlockable class and constructing a string to show on this list. The way I created this list is going through the unlockable list and also making a fixed space for the first part, 20 characters, fixed path, and if there's less, I'll add some padding to make it visually lined up. And after that, it's the number of words required to unlock and also the status of that unlockable. Cyan color if it's unlocked and yellow if it's locked. This game save is pretty far along, so the only unlocked or the only locked item is the 100th word. What are the unlockables? They are all here. So you can unlock new AIs, you can unlock new categories, specials, and custom categories. I think I already said that. Or more forbidden words. So to unlock AIs, that's very simple. The interactable, when players select the AI, whether or not they can click on the button when the profile first load is just set based on the game save. So whenever AI gets unlocked, I change that boolean to true. This is the game save class, and in that JSON file, it'll just be a true or false, and the button interactable is set to this status. And if it ever gets unlocked, then it'll get the interactable will update to match the status, and then that will become clickable or not. So I'll go over some specials. I can go over that. Skill pop-up. Let's go over that. Skill pop-up. So special skills. I'm showing you guys a secret, but it's okay. So here's the special skill, and you can click on limerick. I already clicked on haiku previously, so you can use any of these or all three of these on top. Clicking on limerick will have a different AI come up and give you a limerick. Click on the definition. It'll come and give you a new definition, or the definition of the code word. And then the bottom, you can only use 1 out of 3. A special skill or secret skill is for something else, but let you guys figure that out when you guys have that unlocked. I can get a hint word to related word you may use. Acoustic, sonar, these are not on the forbidden list, because if you look at the word creation class in the session manager, I don't just create 6 or 7 forbidden words. I create 10 and I put them in a list, and from that 10 I just grab the bottom 2 that's not used, and that is guaranteed not to be the same as what's previously shown, and also it's easy to grab. And the other skill is just swapping the most common word, which is ranked 0 or element 0, and I can swap it with number 7. So that's how those skills work. What other skills do I need to cover? What other unlockables? So I think that's it for unlockables. Let me know if you guys have questions for any of these programming wise. Originally, I planned 4 weeks for this project, and not counting the 1 week I spent on updating the website, I actually spent 6 weeks. So pretty bad at estimating. And even at week 6, I've only managed to submit the app to both Android and iOS store. Still haven't got the approval yet. And hopefully I get past on the very first try, which happened once. So fingers crossed. Why am I 2 weeks over? So I think there's a couple things. Underestimating the amount of testing it would take, and stuff I find in testing that I need to fix took longer than I thought. Originally, I thought a couple of days, but it took 3 days because I found stuff and I didn't fix everything I found. And that leads to second point. The most important thing is to have the game released. There are features that I cut that I thought are very important, but not essential to the game. What did I cut? I cut the share button. I couldn't figure out how to get the screenshot function working. Originally, I thought the sharing button was very important. That's the only way to get the game go viral. If someone completes a word and it was a genius prompt, and people will be excited to share. And sharing is what makes games or any content go viral. So I thought it was very important, but I couldn't get it to work. I spent 4 hours and didn't get anywhere. Maybe I could add it back in the future, but if I spent 4 hours and still couldn't get it to work on the Android side, I don't even want to touch the Apple side, because they're both different. And I'm not saying I want to use native UI, that's a plus, but I couldn't even get it to work with code. So I don't want that one feature to push the launch any longer. I need to deliver the project, and I need to reiterate after the launch and not try to make everything perfect the first time. if it's good enough, maybe people will take screenshots and share it their with their own ways and not need a button to just make it more convenient. So I cut that one out. Another item I cut out was daily words. I thought connecting to Unity game service where I can give people a daily word just like the Wordle game, and that would keep people interested, or that everybody would play the same word. That would make the game retention a little bit longer. That's a great idea to keep people playing and sharing the same experience when friends play the same word. But to get that feature to work, I think I would spend at least 2 or 3 days on that feature, because it needs to be connected to Unity game service where I can push words to the players. It's a very cool feature, but it's not essential to the gameplay. So that feature I left out. Maybe I'll add it later if there's a lot of people finishing 100 words. Yeah, it sucks to cut features, but I have to deliver, and I'm already 2 weeks late. So if the game is a wild success, yeah, I'll go back and add a bunch more features. If a bunch of people are hitting their 100 words quickly and they want more, sure, I'll add a daily word to keep the game alive and maybe add more achievables. Extras, nice to haves. If it doesn't make the deadline, it gets cut. And that's a tough decision. I wish I could do a better job at planning in my next game and not be 2 weeks late. Also, don't forget that creating assets for Appstore takes time. You need to create a video, lots of screenshots, how to put together that video, the entire submission in the App Store, which you can find many videos online, but just going through it yourself for your own game takes a long time. So make sure you account for that time. For Codoo, it took about 3 days to get the assets, the screenshots in the right resolutions for phone and tablet, create a 30-second video, upload on YouTube, change it again on the resolution for iOS, filling out a bunch of privacy stuff, clicking on 150 countries where OpenAI is available and unchecking the countries that are not. All of that takes time. So make sure you account for the time needed to submit on App Store. So that's everything I want to cover on this game, and I am just waiting for Android and Apple to come back to me and say, your app is approved, here's a link. And when I get that link, I'll be sure to publish it, tell all my friends, go buy my game and try it, give me feedback. So yeah, this is the last devlog for the game Codoo. I have a lot more games in mind planned. I'm going to take a week off before I jump into another project. So thanks for watching. See you in the next game.